Hello my friends, welcome back to Epoxy Me That. How are you? I hope doing okay, and I want to thank you for showing up today. Today I am going to be doing a make, which is I have been invited to join a collaboration, and the collaboration is called the Copycat Collab, and we are paired up with another resin artist, and I was paired up with Sierra from Crafting with Sierra. And what we are to do is find one of their creation videos and we copy it. It doesn't have to be the exact same way that they made it. We're just to copy it. And I have chosen one of Sierra's creations with a jar that she made that had candy in it, and the top of the lid was a shaker. And I'm going to, I'll share a photo of with you at the end of my video, and I will also share with you the video that I chose this off of in my description box. You will also find the playlist of everyone else that's involved in my playlist. So when you get finished here, please go check them out. We have all worked very hard to get this put together, and it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed every second of it. And I would love it if you would go support them as well. I hope I can make Sierra proud. So if you would like to see me create this, then kick back, relax, and let's get to it. I'm going to be using this plug right here in my lid here. But first we're going to pour a clear layer of resin down in there. And we're going to let that cure for about 3 to 4 hours, and then we'll put our plug in and go in with our color. Sierra, she didn't use a plug. She used one of those domes, plastic domes that has the sticky stuff on it that you just place it down in there. And I've used them before in one of my ocean sea coaster sets. I will put the video number up here or here to if you want to go check that video out, where I used the same domes that she used. But I'm going to be using my plug this time for this. Now I want half of my jar to be pink and the other half to be yellow. And these are some beautiful colors right here. It's the Recollections from Micheals. We're going to use this pink right here. It's very sparkly. And then we're going to use this yellow right here. Now, when we do the, when we pour in first, I'm going to do this half yellow and this half pink. And then we'll pour our clear in and add our beautiful sweet charms here. And then we will go ahead and put our last layer in when we get done with that, and it's going to be pink and yellow. But where I did pink here and yellow here to start, we're going to reverse it on the bottom half. I hope that makes sense. Okay, I have my resin down in here, and this is the Bond Crafter epoxy resin I'm using. It has a part A and a part B. Part A is your resin and part B is your hardener. And I mixed up 60 mils. Now I've stirred up my pink there. Now I'm going to get my yellow stirred up. And then we have a clear over here that we're going to be using for our lid right there. Now I'm going to go ahead and run this through my Resiners Airless Pro bubble remover machine, and then I shall return. Okay, I have the pink and the yellow here, and I'm going to go ahead and spritz some alcohol down into my mold there, roll it around, and then I'm just going to dump it upside down and get any excess out. Okay, now I'm going to get you down a bit. I'm just going to pour on my center here and let it roll on down. Now I'll stop there. I'll put some on this side. And I'm just going to keep going until I use up all of this resin that I mixed up. Okay, as I'm watching it from up here, I'm going to add a little bit more of the yellow because the pink is coming a little bit into the yellow. So that means we had a little bit more of the pink, and I want it to be even as I can get it. Okay. Now I'm going to take my heat gun, run it through there, and pop any surface bubbles. Spritz a little bit more of the alcohol in there. And then I'm going to take my silicone tip brush here, and I'm just going to swirl it a little bit right there where they meet. Swirl it a little bit right there where they meet. Hopefully that'll come out looking pretty. I know those two colors are beautiful. Okay, now we're going to set that aside and we're going to work on the lid. Alright, now I'm going to spritz a little bit of alcohol into my lid there. Now we're going to go ahead and pour the clear Bond Crafter resin in there. And I just want just the surface filled with resin. And that's it. Okay, and it's bubble free because we just ran it through the debubbler machine, so we don't need to do anything else. And I'm going to come back in about 10 more minutes, and I'm going to spritz a little bit more alcohol into this one right here and check that one and make sure there are no bubbles that have surfaced. Okay, I will see you all in a little bit. Okay, I've got my resin right here, and we're just going to go ahead and pop our plug right in there, and I'm going to go ahead and mix up my yellow and my pink. I think that's going to be too much, but I'll use it in something else as an extra. Alright, I'm going to let it degas for 3 minutes and I'll be back. Okay, I'm going to spritz some alcohol into the mold there. And then we're going to go ahead and pour. I'm going to do it together, so maybe we can get it just right. Okay, we'll stop right there. Put a little bit more over here. Alright, I think that's perfect. I'll push that over there and let it cure. I'm going to take my heat gun and pop any surface bubbles on it. spritz some alcohol. And then let's go ahead and pour these in these two as extras. I'm trying to do it just like I did the jar. One side pink and one side yellow. We might not have enough. Let's see if that needs a little bit more before I start putting the rest over here. Oh yeah, we got enough. Probably just enough. Now let's pick out what we're going to put in our first pour. I have our resin in the debubbler machine right now, so it'll be ready when it gets in a few minutes. Let's look at what we have here. I just picked out some charms that I thought would be cute. The charms that Sierra used was really cute too. I loved her jar. It was precious. And if you haven't seen that video, make sure you go watch it because her make is beautiful. Okay, I got my resin. I'm going to go ahead and spritz some alcohol down into the piece here. That was on the side. It had a little bit of glitter in it, so I went ahead and pulled it out. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and dump our charms down in here and get them used to the resin. Okay. And now I'm going to go ahead and pour. Stop right there. Get my little pieces of candy out. And I'm trying to be really careful so I don't add any more bubbles into our piece. That one went in there backwards. Get back here. Now, I'm going to put this yellow star over here on this side. It went in backwards too. Come on. Be nice. There you go. Okay, I think I'm going to stop there. I didn't, I don't know if I want to put these in there or not because the little wrapper part of them, we're losing the effect of it. So all we're going to see is that center piece in there. I'll just put one in there and we'll see how it looks when we demold it. I don't know if y'all can see it or not, but see how it's just showing the yellow part? It's not showing the clear wrapper part on the ends there. It loses the effect of it having the wrapper on it. So I'm not going to use that one. Alright, I'm going to put a little bit of heat on it and pop those surface bubbles. I'm not going to put a lot of heat on it because the more heat, the faster it's going to cure. And we don't want it to cure fast. We want it to cure slow so that those bubbles that are in there will have time to rise to the top and pop. Because I'm seeing a few in there. So hopefully they'll make their way to the top. Alright, I will see you back when it's time for our second pour. See you later. This is the second pour, so we can finish up our cute little things to put in our piece here. I'm going to spritz some alcohol in the mold. And then let's go ahead and bop our things in here that we're going to use. And that way they'll be introduced to the resin. I'm not sure which ones we'll use. I'm just going to put all kinds down in here. That should be enough. Get my tweezers so I can get them out of there. Or a stick, whichever. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and pour. Let me put those down in the cup so they can get into the resin. That one's got some bubbles hanging on it. Go ahead and get them off. Maybe I'll get it when it gets down here. I'm going to pour in that center right there. And let it just flow down the sides. And I'm going to pour until I think we have enough for our last little pour. And I think that's going to do it right there. Now we're going to go ahead and start putting our little charms in. I'm just going to let it slide down the side and into there. This ice cream right here. Let's see, where can we put that at? Let's put it right here. I'm going to use my heat gun, pop those surface bubbles. We're not going to put a lot of heat on it because we don't want to cure it fast. Alright, I'm going to check it in about 10 minutes, spritz it again, and then I'll meet you back for the last pour. See you later. We're going to go ahead and put our last layer in here. I have the glitter in our cups already, and the resin is finishing up. So let's go ahead and take our plug out of our lid here. And then we can fill it up with goodies. Which I have right here. And then seal the hole off in the back. Now it has a little bit of a lip there, so we're going to go ahead and make sure that is nice and flush. So I'm just going to take this little tool right here and go around that circle and make sure that it's nice and flat. Okay, now let's just go ahead and demold it. And there it is. Whoops. Looks like there's a few bubbles. But what we'll do is we'll go ahead and throw a dome on the inside of this, so that way it'll be crystal clear. Yeah, that's the only way I can fix that, is to put a little bit of resin in there and get those little areas fixed. We won't put much, just a little. So we can't fill our shaker up quite this go round. Now I'm going to go ahead and pour our resin into our cups here. I'm going to try to get them just as even as I can. Alright, now I'm going to get it stirred up, and then we'll let it sit to the side and degas a bit before we pour it. It's beautiful glitter, so beautiful. Go ahead and get our pink stirred up. Making sure I get that side of my cup, getting that pink stirred up. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and let these sit to the side and degas for about 3 to 5 minutes, and I'll meet you back. Okay, I'm going to spritz some alcohol onto the mold there. And now we have yellow on this side and pink on this side. So now we're going to do pink and yellow. Alright, let's see, we need a little bit more yellow. Let's see if I can get this matched up just right. Alright, I'm gonna add a little more pink. And I'm going to just keep going a little bit until we get it filled up. That looks perfect to me. I'm going to stop right there. Now I'm going to use my heat gun, but I'm going to use it from far away so I don't mess our little line up there. And now I'm going to spritz some alcohol on it. And we're going to let it cure. And I think I'm going to mix up some of the, oops, I almost dropped that right in there. Let me move this out of the way. I'm going to cover it with this little dish right here. Now, I'm going to mix up some of the tabletop resin and pour a real thin layer in there and get those bubbles out of my lid. I don't know how I ended up with those in there, but I did. Okay, I'm going to use the extras in this right here. Because I'm going to have to see how we're going to finish the jar off. I'm not real sure how I want to finish it off yet. Sierra finished hers off with a wax seal and some jute. wrapped around the top of the jar. So I will probably wrap jute around the top of the jar as well. And then I'm not going to do a wax seal. I'm going to do some charms dangling from it. And I'm going to try to use these as some of the charms and this little crystal bear that I made. But we're going to do him in pink and yellow transparent color. And we'll do that with the rest of the tabletop resin that we finished this off with. I got my tabletop resin and I ran it through the Airless Pro Resiner's Airless Pro Bubble Remover machine. Now I'm going to spritz a little bit of alcohol down in there. And now I'm going to pour just a tad in here. And that's enough right there. Now I'm going to let that go ahead and get situated in there. And then we're going to go ahead and make sure those bubbles are filled in it. Let me make sure I have enough in there. I might put a little drop in there. Yep, that's plenty. Now, I'm going to move that out of the way so we don't get nothing in it. And let's go ahead and do our pink and white, pink and yellow crystal bear here. And then I have something else to finish over there. That's one of my necklaces that I'm working on for me. I demolded it in a video with you all, so you'll probably remember it. Okay, now I'm going to put a little bit of glitter in each one of these. Go ahead and stir that up. I'm not going to stir real fast. Just real slow, because this is tabletop resin, so it's really thick. And we don't want to get a lot of bubbles in there because it's not going to have a lot of time for them to escape like other epoxy resins do. Alright. Let's see. I think that matches pretty good. What do y'all think? Yeah. Okay. I'm going to spritz a little alcohol down into my bear there. And then we're going to do our bear yellow on the top and pink on the bottom. Just like that. And then he'll match. A little bit more yellow. Okay. Our bear is filled. Okay. Our lid is fully cured, and now there's no bubbles in it. And I have these dryer sheets sitting in it so that it doesn't hold any static in it for our little bits that we're going to put inside of our shaker. So I'm just going to pull some of those out because those don't go in it. But I found these cute little sprinkles, and I thought we would add some of those in here as well. So I'm going to put some in there. And I think that's probably enough. Let's put a little bit more. And then we're going to pick out a few of these really cute inclusions. That's a donut. And then here's some candy pieces. And then some lollipops. And then here are some little pieces of candy that's got a grape on it. Aren't those cute? And then let's put a yellow and pink heart in there because our jar is yellow and pink. And let's put one more sucker in, a yellow and pink sucker. Okay. I think that's enough. What do y'all think? Let's see here. Oh, we need to add some more. That's not enough. Now let's check that and see. Much better. And I'm going to stick these back in there and let them sit in there for a second. Now I'm going to take this Bond Crafter UV resin. Let's go ahead and get our sheets out of there. And I'm just going to get a little bit on the edges here. Okay. Now I'm going to get my sheet here, place it on there, and then we're going to cure that up. Okay, now it's ready, and I have some of the Bond Crafter tabletop resin fixing to come off my turner, and we're going to dome this. I have my tabletop resin here, so I'm going to go ahead and dome this. Alright, we are ready to demold our jar here. And our top is ready. It's so cute. I love how that turned out. Alright, let's get on in here and see what our jar looks like. I hope it turned out cute. I hope I don't have any bubbles. I'm just going to roll my mold all the way down. It's probably easier that way. Whoop! And I'm just going to take the center there and push it back through. And there it is. Alright, let's take a look at it and see how it turned out. Oh, it's so cute. Get that M&M. And there's our happy. That turned out so cute. And let's get our lid on there. I love that. I love it. Now we're going to finish it off with some more cute things. I have out here my jute, and Sierra took some jute and she went around the top of her jar, and I thought that was super cute. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave some out, holding it with my finger right here, and that's going to be to tie our bear on with. And then we're going to just keep going around the top of the jar until we get it filled up with the jute. And then I'm going to cut it off, the excess. Probably about right there. Now I'm going to tie this. And I'm going to tie it several times. We'll do one more. Okay? Now we have, you know, these two strings hanging out right here. One's shorter than the other. And we're going to slide this on there and tie those off and cut the excess off. But we need to get some way to loop our bear onto the jute. So I have went and got one of my bales. This is a plastic clear bale, and I get these from Temu. And I'm going to take my Gorilla epoxy. This is a 2-part epoxy. It sets in 5 minutes. And I just bought a new one. So you just this is always hard to get off. I had to take my pliers and get it off. But I have a little plastic cup here, and you just pull the plunger back so that it's both even. Now you want to squirt it so that it's both coming out equal amounts together. And to make sure I'm doing that, I'm going to go ahead and get a paper towel here. And I'm just going to push until I've got it coming out of both sides. There we go. Now, push a little bit down in there. I'm going to pull the plunger back. And then I'm going to take my little thing here and put it on there so it can seal it off. Then we're going to take a little stick here and we're just going to stir this up for about 20 seconds. Now we have 5 minutes to work with it because it's going to set in 5 minutes. And you need to clamp something on it to hold the pressure down on it. So we're going to go ahead and drop a pea-size amount on there. And then I'm going to place my little clear bale on here. And now I'm going to take this clamp and I'm going to clamp it there and leave it for 5 minutes. While that is curing for 5 minutes, our little bear, we're going to take my liquid fusion here and I'm going to take some of it and I'm going to go around our lid here with some of the glue. I think I might just take the bottle and do it. I just don't want to get too much on it. Okay, I think that's perfect. I'll wipe a little bit off. Now I'm going to take these pink and yellow rhinestones and go around the top. And I'll put you on a time lapse while I do that. Okay, I'm finished with that. I think it turned out really pretty. So now we're just waiting on our bear over here, and it might be ready, but we'll give it a few more minutes and I'll meet you back. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and take the clamp off. And that seems to be on there pretty good. So now I'm going to run it through this right here. And I'm going to tie a knot in it, another knot. And I'm going to tie it in another knot. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and cut off, let's see here. I'm going to leave it like that. And there's our jar. I think it turned out so cute. So let me know if you think I made Sierra proud, and go check out her video, and it's linked in my description box, the video that I recreated this from. So go check out her make of this and see how she created it. It's beautiful. And it's about that time, my friends, for a sweet goodbye. And I will see you in the next video. God bless you. Goodbye, my friends.